Hello. Good evening or morning or whatever time it may be where you are. It's time that I'm finally gonna continue playing Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Please. I will stretch. Yeah, I know. I'm starting a little late. I got distracted. I'm sorry. At least I stayed awake, so I'm ready to play the video game. Let me start. Please. So I can fulfill the requirement. But yeah. I may have been playing a couple Slay the Spire 2 multiplayer runs with some friends. And the second run took longer than I thought, but that was partially my fault because my deck was not very good, but really funny, and also really, really slow. So it was stun locking the game for like... it was stun locking the game at the start of every turn because it had to resolve like 32 iterations of an effect. Yep. But yeah. No, here's where we can cut for the real intro in case this ever gets edited down for YouTube or something. But yeah. Hello and welcome back. We're gonna be continuing Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. We are on case 3 of the game. Last time we did the initial investigation, so now we're gonna be starting the trial. Brief recap for if it's necessary for anyone or helpful. But yeah, brief recap is let me see. I'm doing the recap partially for myself because I need to remember it, but yeah. Case 3. Brief recap is that we went to Prosecutor Gavin's rock concert. He had a special guest from Virginia, and her manager has been killed, and then the pianist is now being accused, and now we're the defense attorney for the pianist, and then we haven't actually been able to speak with the client and get any account of what happened to him because we don't speak the language that he does, so I'm sure that's going to be something that will hopefully be resolved quickly in the trial. But yeah. I'm about as ready as I can be, so I think shall we get this rolling? July 9th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 3. Great. Okay. I gotta lock it, or at least try to remember how to do voices. Hopefully the judge will let us do a lot of the talking.
Court is now in session for, how do I say that?
Well, that would be Machi Tobey, Your Honor. The Pixie of Arpeggio.
I don't. Hello.
Machi Tobey.
Okay. Well, we'll get Clavier's voice a little more dialed in a minute. It's been a bit.
Right. His trial court is now in session.
Yeah, so we kind of finished the initial investigation. Oh yeah, the body disappeared. Someone stole the body. Oh wait, no, it reappeared. It was staged. Someone moved it to stage the crime scene in coordination with these song lyrics. Yeah. That's fine. We did some investigating. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I hope. Hello. Doing good. We're gonna play some Ace Attorney, so now I get to do stupid voices and jump scare people. And just in case you haven't been around one of these streams before. But it's been a bit, so it might take me a tiny bit of time to rein in the voices. But yeah, this is Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Yeah, and this is my first time playing this game. Well, like, yeah, any of the games in this trilogy. So, but so far it's very good. Okay. Every stream they have slightly different voices. I'm sorry. It'd be easier if I was better at being consistent. But that's not what we're doing here. This is not that professional. It's fine. I have a general idea in my head, so I guess it's just based on how I can hear myself. Alright.
The prosecution is A-okay, Judge.
Very well, Prosecutor Gavin.
My opening statement, yeah?
No, actually, there was something else I wanted to ask you about.
Yes?
Say, you're going to visit someone in the hospital.
What is it? What, Judge? Wait, what? Is this where this is supposed to go? Okay, this feels off topic. Okay. I guess let's see where he goes with this one.
Well, as I was saying, say you're going to visit someone in hospital with an incurable disease. What do you say to them? I mean, you wouldn't say get well soon, right? You'd only be kicking them when they're down.
What are you talking about?
Well, actually, I'm going to visit someone who is terminally ill. Right after the trial. The Chief Justice's son.
The Chief Justice?
His son is afflicted with a most terrible disease. He does not have long, it seems.
Oh.
So I thought I'd best go pay him a visit. I thought saying something moving might be the order of the day.
Why don't grown-ups ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending? She's looking at me with disgust. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for?
Well, in any case, I am a bit busy today. Let's wrap this up quick.
An Ace Attorney trial? Wrapping up quick? No way!
Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement. Briefly.
Well, you're in luck, Air Judge. I believe you'll be going to your hospital visit sooner than you think.
'Cause he's the prosecutor for this trial. Even though he was actively at the crime scene. Well, not quite. He wasn't like exactly at the crime scene, but 'cause he's the prosecutor. It had to be him. I don't know. I mean, they put the case under a gag order. Maybe that's why.
First, allow me to review the victim in this case. Romaine Letus, age 35. The global manager for Diva Songstress, La Mirror. The cause of death, blood loss due to being shot by a large caliber revolver. This report has all the details.
The court accepts this into evidence.
Autopsy report for Romaine Letus. Right, we're not exactly enemies, but we're not exactly friends.
45 caliber. That is quite large, isn't it? A direct hit from that could knock a man straight off his feet.
Well, however, the bullet struck him in the shoulder. The damage to the body was slight. Death was not immediate. Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved.
I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse considering.
Crime photo.
2 shots were fired. One shot missed. The other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets were found in the wall at the scene. Observe the diagram. This is where the bullets hit.
I see. The court accepts this evidence.
Diagram.
If we are talking about a 45 caliber revolver, we must assume the killer was adept at the weapon's use.
Really? Yeah. Apparently weapons that size have powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to fire one, it would break every bone in his body.
The defense will take more care in choosing examples.
Well, as I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in a dressing room. This dressing room only has one entrance, this door.
Why, that does seem to be the case, yes.
However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots.
Well, he's talking about you and Emma.
Yet, when the witnesses entered the room, it was empty, save for the victim's body, of course.
But that's impossible.
Exactly. This murder was impossible. For all but one person.
One person?
And of course, that would be the defendant, Machito Bay. Machito Bay.
Only the defendant could have committed the crime. But how?
Why, it's quite simple. The circumstances of the crime make it quite clear. Of the crime scene.
Very well, I assume you have testimony to back this up. Please show the witness to the stand.
Your name and profession, please.
You like to imagine Gavin repeats himself? When I just am involuntarily retaking the line for like no reason. It's fine. We can fix it in post. Except for it won't be fixed in post. Emma Skye. I'm a detective for the police department. That's like not at all what her voice was. It's fine.
I was on security detail at the concert forum that night.
Emma seems tired somehow. It's fine.
Security at the concert, you say?
Some security I was. Couldn't even stop a murder.
Now, don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I've made even bigger mistakes in my career, I'll have you know.
Where's Glorious Clavier Gavin? He's here, don't worry. Judge, are you sure that's what you... Is that... I don't think you want to put that on the record, Judge. You've made even bigger mistakes than allowing a murder to happen? What did you do? I'm sure that makes her feel much better. No comments. I want to hear about these bigger mistakes.
Well, in any case, because you were on security detail, the crime was quickly discovered. And we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony, if you would. Describe the circumstances of that day, and your discovery of the crime, please. Alright.
Murderous circumstances.
The night of the murder, I was on security backstage, at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the trial of the third set, I heard shots. I went into the room, filled with blaring rock music, and found the body. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it.
It was lucky that the detective was first on the scene.
But that door was the only way out of the room, right? That door was the only way out of the room, right? Sorry. Yeah, pretty much. Then I don't get it. How can they say that Machi did it? Looks like we need a bit more information.
Very well. The defense may begin cross-examination.
Here we go. Murderous circumstances. The night of the murder was the night of a concert, correct?
That's right.
What was the detective doing on security detail, might I ask? If it was only a concert.
Those are my thoughts exactly. But orders are orders, even when they come from rock gods.
Prosecutor Gavin?
Why, yes. Allow me to explain. I smelled something that day. You might say, the stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall.
Conspiracy?
Well, isn't it obvious? My keys. That whole morning, no. The whole day was ruined. And it's all because someone stole my keys. I couldn't ride my hog to the show. I couldn't open my guitar case.
Well, there he goes again. Isn't it possible he simply misplaced them?
Misplace them? Misplaced items don't just wander into a murder victim's hand on their own.
Hello? What's this? Prosecutor Gavin, if your keys were in the victim's hand, that makes you prime suspect.
Love. Slow acting and new.
I should have prepped myself to pronounce that word. I don't even know what that word is. What kind of word is that? Albatross. I don't think we're playing golf. Atroquinine. I shouldn't have looked this up. I'm close. Yeah, don't tell me anything else about that. I'm not reading anything else. I don't know. I don't know if he just made whatever. I think I'm just not supposed to know what that is. I just assumed it might actually be a word. Alright, well, then I know how to pronounce that. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay.
Love. Slow acting and new. Atroquinine is waiting for you.
He's singing something. Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top?
Well, the killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was like a sailor, adrift on a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else to be stolen. So, I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task.
I see. I can accept that.
Well, I can't.
Please, the testimony.
What do you mean, time on their hands?
Please, the testimony.
Sorry, there we go. There we go, that's better.
Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage.
We were let in, though.
I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you.
Well, I gave the Fraulein special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again.
Oh boy, did you hear that? We're officially involved now. We're officially involved now. Gee, great.
Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off.
So no other outsiders were there then.
And then...
I believe we were having a chat when we heard the shots.
You were the one chatting. I was eating snackers.
Is she no longer eating snacks? No, she just started eating snacks. Don't worry. They're here.
Hey. Hey.
I can't do it. How do I...
There will be no snacking in my courtroom.
Ow. Does it hurt to make the judge's voice? A little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I may have made a poor decision. But at least I'm fairly confident his voice is consistent, relatively. But yeah. Wait, I could change his voice. Yeah. But then the vibes would be off. It's fine. I'll think about it if I have to.
And you're sure the shots came from Lamira's room?
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. Here, this'll keep you quiet.
Thanks. So, how about it, Emma? Munch, munch, munch. He ate it.
We were right there. Hard to be mistaken about that much.
That munch.
Please, either talk or eat. Not both at the same time.
Right. So after that, me and Mr. Loy there opened the dressing room door.
Rock.
Blaring, yes.
When you say rock, are you perhaps referring to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days?
That's right. When we went into the dressing room, music was blaring over the speaker on the wall.
They piped the sound in from the stage into the backstage through speakers. And that way people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage.
Did it have to be so loud?
Why? You don't listen to the Governors with your ears. With your ears. You feel it with your entire body and soul. I always have the backstage monitors at full volume.
When we walked into the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime.
If you could hear that music playing,
then everyone on the stage for that song has an alibi. Including myself.
Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation. How could you know something like that? As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen. We know there is only one exit from the room. That door. The small window only opened a tiny crack. I was standing in front of the door. So, how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility. The air vent.
Ah.
But the air vent was too small. Who could possibly... Exactly. There's certainly no way you could get through. Nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child.
A child!
Remember, access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed in.
And, of all the people involved with the concert, the only one small enough to be considered a child.
The defendant.
The pixie of Arpeggio flitted up toward the sky and disappeared from the scene of the crime.
But that's just conjecture.
Oh, there was no other way out of the room. You were there. You should know, Air Forehead.
And there is another vital piece of evidence.
Evidence? What?
Marks were found on the air vent grill. Traces that it had been recently opened.
Wait, what?
Something else was found, quite clearly. The defendant, Machi Tobei's fingerprints.
What?
Order. Order. Order.
That air vent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, Air Forehead. What fairy tale does this suggest to you? The only one that could pass through that vent, that doorway. That doorway to heaven.
Sorry, I read that wrong. Or wait, no, I didn't quite read that wrong. Okay. Well,
Only one could pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. And that one is our pixie.
I don't remember if there was a sound in the air ducts.
Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was out whooping it up with the audience. So, this was his decisive evidence.
Why, that is quite decisive indeed. I believe that's enough of that. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was
Please.
watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive.
I will drink water.
I believe that we have heard enough to determine our verdict. Even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit.
Well, I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. And that will have to be enough.
It can't be over already.
Very well. I believe the trial is finished. If the defense has no contradicting evidence.
Well, the prosecution has presented our proof. Clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it had better be clear and plain.
Apollo, they've got us on the ropes already. We'd better come up with something quick. I know. What can get us out of this? We need evidence or a witness that can prove Machi is innocent beyond reasonable doubt. Without that,
Gulp.
Mr. Justice, do you have contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you'd best tell us about it now.
This is it. And so soon. If I mess this one up, it's all over. The court wants contradicting proof. Oh god, I have to look at the court record. What do we got? This is not relevant. This is something not relevant. The gun, we just know it was fired twice. Wait, does that have a... It's got a stamp on it. I guess that could just be like the Forge's mark. Victim's name, Romain Latouche. Age 35 male. Time of death, July 7th between 9 and 9:30 p.m. Cause of death, blood loss due to .45 caliber bullet wound. Time elapsed between shooting and death is currently under review. Of course it is. Okay. It's a good thing everyone in the courtroom is frozen in a time paradox while I think about this.
I guess that's true.
the best that I've got right now is the fact that the bullets impacted the wall close to the door, and the body is in such a spot where if the bullet passed through the guy and then hit the wall, then like the window is a possibility. The vent's over here, yeah. The vent is close to the entrance of the room. But yeah, the only other thing that we could do is call Lamira as a witness. Lamira. Cause Lamira's testimony is she's the only one, like, yeah, she might be able to provide him an alibi. So I think my best play is that we need to call Lamira. Prosecutor Gavin, you claim there were no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure?
Absolutely. I'd swear it on my career as a prosecutor. And on my million-seller hit song, Atroquinine, my love.
There he goes, again.
That's too bad, because there was a witness.
Oh, really now? How did you come to possess knowledge the prosecution clearly does not?
'Cause I am the only one in the world who knows this. What's going on? I just talked to him and now... He's alive! Mr. Latouche, can you hear me?
Cold. Oh, so cold. Witness.
You're cold? Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help's on the way.
Can't see.
Hang in there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who was the witness?
The witness is Siren. What? The victim said that before he died.
Well, perhaps he did. Perhaps he did not.
What do you mean by that?
Well, all that we know is what Airport Head says he said. It's no testimony, especially since it came from the defense attorney himself.
But it is the truth. He said it. I even told you about it. Apparently, you ignored me completely.
Well, it is my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly, this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job.
Why, that's enough. Mr. Justice, we need clear, contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours unknown to the prosecution. I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty.
Well then, perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for.
There's no backing out now.
Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice.
Lamirar.
Lamirar.
Recall Mr. Latus's last words. The witness is Siren.
The siren. Ah. He meant the siren.
That's right. The siren of the ballad. Lamirar. Lamirar was only on stage for the second set. And she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness.
I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin.
My claim still stands. There is no witness to the crime.
Very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? You will now take a break from Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please show Lamirar to the witness stand.
Lamirar would say nothing the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today, we'll drag that story out of her, no matter what it is.
Well, it is my distinct honor to welcome the siren of the ballad to our courtroom. Why, you are too kind.
You can speak English.
Yeah, we learned that toward the end of our investigation last time. She actually can speak English, but was only speaking in Borginian in public to keep up appearances. Because the air of exotic mystery lends itself to branding. So, it was a marketing decision.
Well, you can speak English.
Yes, I can. Though I am not very good. There is much I do not know.
Why, you speak so well. Have you spent time here before?
Actually, I do not know how I came by my knowledge of your language, nor where I studied it.
Well, she's gotta keep up appearances somehow. This is public court record we're talking about here. Is that immediately committing perjury? Probably, but it's not necessarily relevant to the case yet. But yeah, I already have to go refill my water. The judge is talking too much. Okay. I gotta refill my water. I will be back in 1 minute. So, be right back. I'm back. I'm gonna be so hydrated. Perfection. What does she mean that she doesn't know?
Well, I too thought to call her as a witness, but I did not. I did not.
Yep. Emphasis.
I did have a reason, of course.
What reason is that?
Lamiroy. Lamiroy suffers from amnesia.
Amnesia?
Lamiroy is not my true name. Yet, I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on the stage. Whoa. She's even more mysterious than I thought.
Well, as lauded singer, Lamiror, she lives a good life. There are little difficulties for her, thanks to her success. Yet, I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress.
I see. I care surprisingly little about people's past. You have nothing to fear in this court, Lamiror.
I thank you. There is something I do not understand. I am being called as a witness. What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what happened.
Lamiror, let me be frank. I did not want to ask you here to testify. Yet, the young gentleman with the wide forehead over there was adamant that you stand.
Oh my. Congratulations, Apollo. You're the bad guy.
Well, now that you are here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime.
What I saw. As for what I saw nothing. That night, I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set. Then I was led to police, to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned something had happened. I was not told details.
I must say, you sound wonderful. Just testifying.
I hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying.
Well, there you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray the defense has the sense to admit defeat. And refrain from detaining her here longer than need be.
Wow, you just got better, Apollo. Way to go. Way to go. You're certainly winning that contest, Apollo. You're the biggest villain in the courtroom. Trussy's just having fun. Don't worry about her.
Very well. Mr. Justice, keep it short and sweet.
Lamiror wouldn't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something. I gotta figure it out. You must have seen something. Mr. Latouche named you. Mr. Latouche. How can I tell you what I don't know? Lamiror. He said that you were a witness with his dying words. I do not know what he meant to say, but that night It was a great concert. You heard me sing. You heard me sing. Sing? Thank you. I was hoping to get an autograph later, actually. Why, of course.
Mr. Justice, this is a cross-examination. You are out of line. If anyone deserves an autograph here, it is me. One on my gavel would be nice.
And Judge.
What's this? What's this?
It's my autograph. Now, keep the trial moving.
What? Oh, my grandchild will be so happy.
Apparently, his grandchild's a big fan.
Well, let us continue, shall we? If you would, Lamiror. Tell us what you did after your stellar performance.
You did not return backstage once. Where were you then? What were you doing?
I was cleaning up on stage. There are many things I must do for a performance other than simply sing.
Was Machi with you at the time?
Unfortunately, I do not know where he was.
Well, so much for an alibi. With Machi, correct? How was he then?
Why, he seemed as he always does. Now I believe he was shocked by the news of Mr. Latouche's death. Yet, He is not the type to show much emotion.
Yes. He's given the place no end of headaches. He answers most questions with silence, and those glinting frames speak nothing, and the questioning hasn't gotten very far.
We sat there, waiting.
How was the incident explained to you?
I was told nothing in detail, only that Mr. Lettuce had died.
Why, of course. Investigations require some security.
But Mr. Lettuce was my manager. I wanted to know more. I should have been told. Both Machi and I were beside ourselves with concern.
Allow me to apologize, but please understand. Keeping you in the dark was as painful for me as it was for you.
Yes, I understand.
Think. What does not ring true in her testimony?
It is hard to imagine Lamirar lying.
She might not be lying, but hiding something. What would she not tell me on the night of the murder? Yeah, I don't know. That seems a little... Right, like she... Okay, so... What have I got? And it looks like he was... What was the jewel? It was, It's her brooch. Maybe we can use that on, yeah, we might be able to use that to place her backstage. Like, even if she wasn't in her dressing room at the scene of the crime, like, presumably she had the brooch when she went to sing. I don't know, that's maybe my best idea of what to do first here. I think that makes sense.
I'm sorry, Lamirar. I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not? Thank you, Clavier. you gave me that nice alley-oop.
Why? That's Lamirar's. She was wearing it for her song.
Care to add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin?
What? What?
This brooch was found after the murder took place. At the very scene of the crime.
What?
Lamirar, how did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night.
What is the meaning of this? Lamirar, please explain yourself.
Lamirar.
Why? She says English is quite difficult.
That trick's not gonna work here.
Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer, truly. But you've missed one important fact.
What now?
In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, only for a moment.
What?
Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak.
Is she really saying all that? What's she talking about, Apollo? Right when the incident occurred. What? Wait, is she talking about that? Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup. Oh, right. Understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right?
Please.
Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Okay. I drink water.
I have a request.
Oops.
Cool. I'll give it a try.
Siren!
Oh. Wait, how did Emma miss her then? Emma, did you see anyone just now?
No.
Do you think she climbed in the fridge? Probably not. That would be definitely not that. Could have sworn I heard a door close.
I looked into the room. Just a glance, mind you.
So, this was when your brooch dropped? That explains that.
It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it.
That's ridiculous. You're telling me you only glanced in the room for an instant and you dropped your brooch?
My air forehead. She has raised a possibility. And the only thing that can counter that is evidence.
So she looked in at the crime scene.
Actually, I had intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing of what had happened, of course. But in the moment I opened the door, I heard a terrible, horrible voice.
Air forehead. Shouting who's there, no doubt. A horrible voice indeed.
I closed the door immediately.
Well, that explains the brooch. Let's return to your testimony.
That's too convenient. She's hiding something still. Lamirar, you did look into the dressing room, though, right?
Yes.
Testify as to what you saw.
Very well. Though it was only the briefest of glimpses.
What did you see in the brief glimpse?
I had only opened the door slightly when I had heard that horrible voice.
And then shut the door.
I have always wondered, Air forehead. Does that voice of yours lack a volume knob?
It's my cords of steel, man. Just back off. A wall. Was there a wall there?
A division or
Blink.
Is what in English?
a division or partition, I believe. It was a large dressing room divided in two halves.
The murder took place in the inside half. I guess the partition might have hidden the body. Perceive. The late Mr. Latouse's body, you say?
Yes. Yes?
You know something more about Mr. Latouse's death than you are saying.
What?
I could see you trying not to remember. The effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes. Wow, 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 wow.
It is true. It was so terrible, after all. Why did Mr. Latouse have to be shot?
One moment, Lamirar.
Yes. Yes.
What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Latousse have to be shot?
Yes.
She was hiding something. I knew it. Lamirar, I'm afraid you have not realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony.
How could that be? How could that be?
How could that be? Take this! Lamirar contradicted her own testimony, and I have the evidence to prove it.
Well, no, the diagram doesn't. Well, yeah, but like. The point is, this line of sight is blocked to the body. The diagram doesn't help us. I'll figure it out. Be careful. 'Cause but yeah, But yeah, basically, if she actually saw nothing, she cannot. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The diagram doesn't matter. She should not have known the cause of death. So. Which means, like, she did see something. I'm just trying to decide which thing to present to get there. Because it's either the investigation report or the... No, the gun was definitely hidden. Because, like, I don't know, you wouldn't necessarily be able to identify a gunshot wound immediately without, like, medical experience. Tell me, Lemuror, how did you know that he had been shot? Well, I... Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, "No one told me anything about the incident." Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. Yet, you knew Mr. Latouche had been shot. How could you have known? Yeah.
Lemuror, you aren't hiding something from the court, I hope.
That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet. No, I remember. Please, allow me to add my testimony.
Why, of course. All we want to know is the truth.
She looks kind of pale. She definitely saw something. I know it. Even the victim said so. only a glimpse at you knew that they were bullet holes. Oh, sorry. I should have... I saw bullet holes in the wall and knew that Mr. Latouche had been shot. Yes, I recognized them immediately. I have seen bullet holes before, you know.
Well, you have traveled the world as a singer. You must have sung in places far more dangerous than our country. I go wherever my voice is needed. Those places are many these days.
That's really cool. I hope that I get to travel the world like Lamirar one day.
I plan on recording my next album overseas. Their studios have a different sound, you know.
Maybe I should go on a Chords of Steel tour too. See, this is where the diagram is just like, wait. You could not have seen those bullet holes if you were actually at the door and barely peeked in. Because they're behind the door.
Objection!
Lamirar. They call you the siren of the ballad. But lies are hardly becoming of such a creature.
Why, I put it down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice.
Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo.
Stop polishing your forehead. Start polishing your character, Ja.
Come on, can't I be cool for once? I see, everyone's just like, oh, Apollo's just being mean. Unreasonably mean. Observe the diagram. Lamirar, you looked in from the door for just a moment. Correct. Yes, that is so. There are bullet holes in the room. Yeah. They were in the wall. The door is on. You see, assuming that you merely glanced into the room, you could not have seen the bullet holes. Yeah.
Lamirar.
Yes.
I am afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something.
And I must tell you. I must tell you what I saw.
Yes. The happenings in this trial are being recorded. I am certain it will be on the news in Virginia. You understand your reputation's at stake? It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it.
Well, personally speaking, I still believe cross-examining her will yield absolutely nothing.
She knew how Mr. Latouche died. He named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lamirar.
Very well. Lamiro, please continue your testimony.
Very well. I shall. New testimony! What I saw too! I was on my way back from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. And that's how I saw it. And there were 2 shots. I could not do anything to stop it. It was not Machi. It was a grown person. I know that it was.
So you did witness the crime. And the killer was a grown person, you say?
This is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play, Air Forehead.
Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin cross-examination.
Great going, Apollo. You were right about Lamirar. What's wrong? You don't look too happy. You don't look too happy. This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. So, you were heading toward the dressing room. Yes. So, this is a little before she opened the dressing room door and dropped her brooch. About the same time Emma and I heard the shots. I was on my way. Ah! Sorry. I was on my way back. what exactly is something like a little window? Yes. Well, window is the best word I know in English. I think this is how it is said. Yes.
Why? You need not worry, Lamira. Your choice of words is impeccable. There's a small window in the dressing room in question. Perhaps the defense remembers this detail.
The little window on the wall. I saw the crime from there. There were 2 shots. I could not do anything to stop it. I could not do anything to stop it.
Bum, bum.
You are certain that you heard 2 gunshots? Yes, I'm quite certain. I was on my way to the backstage exit. This is when I heard the faint sound, like a gunshot. Wondering what it had been, I peered through the window. That's when I heard the second shot, much closer. There are 2 bullets at the scene, bullet holes. No contradictions as in so far. It all happened on the other side of that window. Yeah, it's me. Sorry. There was nothing I could do. It was not Machi. It was not Machi who shot. Are you quite certain? Yes, quite certain.
It amuses me that you would question her testimony. It is testimony in your favor. Isn't it my job to object?
Yeah, Apollo. What were you thinking? And Trucy, let's just listen to what Lamira has to say. Can you tell me how you were sure? Yes, of course. You see, a grown person. That's a little vague. I am sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know.
Certainly, you could at least tell if the shooter was male or female.
It was a man. A young man.
And you are quite sure of that?
Yes. His voice was quite clear. Voice.
Looking at the diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely you would not have had a clear view of the shooter.
As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget. And that voice was the voice of a man.
So, you heard a voice, but wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latouche?
Absolutely not. Did I not just say I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Latouche who spoke, I would have known.
Indeed. So you were at the window and heard the shooter's voice. The voice of a young man.
Apollo, this is good testimony. That proves it was not Machi.
Indeed. Indeed it does. If it turns out to be true, it would cast the case in a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion of the testimony?
I mean,
It's pretty good for us. I'm trying to think through if there's any contradiction with this. I don't know, the only problem is I can't place where the shooter was. Because they would have had to been pretty close to the window. Or else, like, it doesn't make sense. But, like, that's not necessarily a contradiction with what she has said. I mean, I think it's pretty good. Well, I'd have to say it's pretty good. Vital, even. This shows that the shooter was not Machi.
Surely you can't be serious. Oh, forehead.
But why not?
Allow me roar. I understand why you'd want to protect Machi. Yet remember, you are the siren of the ballad. And lies do not become such a creature. Lies do not become such a creature.
What does the prosecution mean?
Apollo, what's he talking about?
come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that?
I certainly recall the state of the crime scene quite well.
The state of the room?
Yes. And when the murder took place, that window was closed. I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it.
What? But I'm sure.
Lamiro. I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense. My opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser.
But she's the only eyewitness we have.
So, you say. And the victim named her, the siren, as the witness?
That's right. That's what Mr. Latouche.
We heard your claim. We even entertained the possibility. It brought us to this. Herr Judge.
Yes.
The prosecution requests the witness be excused. Please.
I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility.
But if Lamirar can't testify, then we don't have a chance of proving Machi's innocent.
The cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case.
Danke. Now, where were we? Yes. I would like to hear from Fraulein Detective again.
Wait. Let me hear Lamirar's testimony. One last time.
The cross-examination is already over. Until such a time as a need arises. The witness may leave the stand.
I'm sorry. I could not be of more assistance.
Why, at last, back to the real trial. Are you ready, Air Forehead?
Grr! I hope I didn't just miss my only chance.
Fraulein Detective, how far had we gotten until we were rudely interrupted?
Don't ask me.
I dislike saying the same thing twice. And I never repeat a song for an encore.
Well, if you would, Miss Sky.
I believe I was saying the only way Mr. Letus's killer could have escaped was through the air vent on the ceiling.
Yes. There was only one door in the room. And a witness was you were standing in front of it.
That air vent is not very big, see? Kinda limits the people who could possibly get through.
I certainly would have a difficult time.
You sure would. Not that you would have been there in the first place, though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert. The only one who meets the conditions for our killer is the defendant.
Well, a virtuoso performance. Couldn't have put it better myself.
She does state a clear case. Though reading the report, something caught my eye.
Oh, what's that?
The circumstances of the defendant's arrest.
The circumstances. Again? Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Machi? That was bizarre. She's absolutely right. Why did Mr. Letus's body disappear from the room and end up on top of the stage tower? Holding a guitar, no less.
Why, a perceptive observation, Air Judge.
Thanks. It was, kind of an accident, really. You work in this job long enough, you get a nose for these things.
Sorry. The judge sure seems pleased with himself.
Well, very good, Problem Detective. Perhaps you could tie it all together for us. Why was the body moved? How does that lead us to the killer?
The missing body. Okay. I think I need to take a short break here so that I can maybe grab some ice cream and more water and
yeah, just take a short break. Yeah. I'll be back in a few minutes. But yeah, I'll try to snooze the ads when I get back. Sorry for the timing on this. I messed it up. But yeah. I'll be back in a few minutes and then we'll get into more of Emma's testimony. Be right back. Okay. Hello. I am returned. we can move into the next testimony, and I can. Is it like 5 minutes? Yeah. Well, I can at least make the ads happen 5 minutes later. I think I was probably too slow for that to make up for it, but it's okay. Sorry. Okay.
Emma. I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lamirar's song. Lamirar's. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim. And Machi practically left his signature at the scene. All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant. But yeah, I think I'm probably gonna have to slightly change how I'm doing the judge's voice, but I'll figure it out. I need his voice to be slightly less strenuous on me. So, sorry as I mess with that, but also, I got ice cream. So, Lamirar's song.
Yes. The guitar's serenade. You noticed its code, too, did you not?
It's code.
All of the events that day followed the lyrics to our song. First, the keys my heart held onto so tightly were stolen.
Then, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on the stage. Mr. Latouse's life was taken by a bullet.
And the rest hardly needs an explanation. Guitar, up together to the sky.
Why? That's mad. It's like a story out of a fairy tale.
I admit, I had forgotten about that. Personally, as a player, I did not forget about that, Apollo. It's kind of crazy. You know?
But there it is now, waiting for me. The grand finale, as it were. Hey, you know, I was the first one to notice that.
I've heard of jumping rope to songs, counting to songs, but killing.
It's a wild world out there, Air Judge.
Very well. We've heard one song and dance. Let's get on to the next. The cross-examination.
I'm not so sure I'm gonna be doing much singing. What about dancing, Apollo? Are you gonna dance? Cross-examination. The missing body.
I believe Machi stole the body because of some song lyrics.
Who would steal a body just to match song lyrics?
Well, I didn't believe it myself. But it can't just be a coincidence.
Why, it is as Fraulein Detective says. Let us begin with the first verse. If you would, Fraulein Detective.
What? You want me to sing it?
You are the witness, yeah? Or did you want me to sing? I warn you, my fee as a vocalist is not trivial.
Fine, fine. Let's look at the first part of the lyrics, shall we?
Hold on, I gotta make sure my ice cream won't make a mess.
When you stole away the keys. When you stole away the keys. My heart held on to so tight.
I don't know exactly what rhythm it's supposed to be in. Also, I'm not that confident in my own singing, let alone in character. So, my apologies. But I'll give it a shot. Since we're gonna go through like the whole song.
Indeed. My favorite heart-shaped keyring was stolen this morning. That morning.
Next, we go to the right page of the lyric sheet. Where we find burning on in my heart, fire burn my love away. away. As we know, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage. Like a bullet of love. Fire, take my life away. All away. Yeah, I like can't sing it. I'm sorry. Mr. Latus's life was taken by a bullet.
Oh, bravo, Fraulein Detective. Your singing is not bad. Now, for the finale. Guitar, up together to the sky. As it says in the lyrics, Mr. Latus was found with a guitar high in the sky over the stage. No series of coincidences could be so well conceived.
He's right. Scientifically speaking. What would Waki have said? That concert was whack. We don't need to bring him up, Apollo. He's not here right now. He can't hurt you anymore. the walkie-talkie in the courtroom. Okay, sorry. It's hard to argue when she pours her heart into it like that. Anyway, the shooter. He moved the body to match Lamiror's song. Does the prosecution have any idea of why he would do all of this? You want my scientific opinion? No clue. But he clearly had a reason to go through all the trouble. Some deep reason. A deep reason.
Not only did he steal my keys, he torched my guitar. Unforgivable acts, even if he had a reason, and even worse if he had none.
The Diva's complaints aside, I can't imagine someone doing this just on a whim.
Fraulein Detective, I take offense at the description. I take offense at the description.
He's so angry.
Indeed, it does seem too well rehearsed, shall we say.
Yes, this crime was planned, for sure.
It's a rather bold claim. But Mr. Latus did speak English. That's not a very helpful claim, Apollo. I will say, he may have come to this country before.
I looked into that, I assure you.
Oh,
It was his first time in the country, it seems. Apparently he learned English on his own.
great.
Well, you see, no one here had a motive to kill him. Certainly not in such an elaborate fashion.
Well, it does seem difficult to imagine.
Unless our famous prosecutor did it, as a publicity stunt.
What did you say? What did you say?
Prosecutor Gavin, you did this to promote your song.
Sorry. I can't take that seriously.
Of course not. And I am quite dismayed by the ludicrous nature of her claim. Why would I need promotion? Everyone already listens to my music.
They're even in my textbook at school.
Wait, what? I'd never heard of him. What does that say about me?
I was just kidding. Don't get all worked up, Glimmer Boy.
What's Machi's signature? I pressed the wrong button. What do you mean by his signature?
The bullet holes in the wall, of course. Bullet holes in the wall, of course.
The bullet holes?
The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall.
And that means what exactly?
The dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It'd be difficult, almost impossible to miss at that range.
Difficult to miss, you say?
Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim. No. You can't be serious. Come on. Emma. Machi. He can't see. That's what he missed. It's the only explanation that makes sense. He used sound and other senses to fire the gun. Poorly.
Hi. That reminds me. The monitor in that room was blaring at the time. Ja. Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound.
A blind shooter. No wonder he missed.
Yeah, you don't see any other problems with that? You don't see any other things that are like questionable? I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me. Think. Justice. What do I do now? And there's gotta be some kind of objection here, right? Surely I don't just let this one ride. Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. That does not prove that the shooter could not see.
Oh. How so?
Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim.
Well, that is certainly possible.
And it might have been the revolver's fault.
The revolver.
The revolver was a very large caliber, correct?
Well, if the shooter was not used to firing such a large weapon, why it could dislocate in the shoulder.
Exactly. The defendant, Machi Tobe, is, as you can see, quite small. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would throw off his aim.
A convincing argument, to be sure.
Yeah, but you still used Machi as the example shooter, Apollo. Haha! Take that, smug prosecution.
Apollo.
What?
That bit about Machi being tiny. And the gun throwing off his aim. aren't you kind of, admitting he did it? Oh.
Well, it does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was without a doubt the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point.
I really put my foot in it this time.
However, let's get the facts of the matter on record. If you would, Fraulein Detective.
Very well, the witness will add this to her testimony.
Right. You can't say he was blind just because the bullet holes. I think I've proven that. I wouldn't call it proof, per se. Huh?
You've merely raised a possibility. Why? Our Fraulein Detective has made a most logical conjecture based on evidence. Of course, there's more evidence than just bullet holes. The defendant was the only one who could have escaped through the air vent.
But wait, if he was blind, how would he have known about the air vent in the first place?
Huh. Well, a very good point. Well, Fraulein Detective, if you would care to explain.
He certainly seems sure of himself. Well, recall the crime scene, if you would. There's a stepladder below the air vent. As it happens, maintenance was scheduled for that day. Custodial staff went around checking all the air vents. I don't believe it. Everyone backstage was told about the maintenance, including Machi Tobe. He would have known that there would be a way out at the top of the ladder. At the top of the step ladder. But that's... Why is this the first time I'm hearing about this?
You could have figured that out yourself. You only needed to consider what the stepladder was doing there.
Well, it looks like the defense's objection has been squashed by a stepladder.
Well, airforehead. Out of ammunition, perhaps?
I've never seen Prosecutor Gavin so aggressive. Maybe he's got the scent of blood.
Apollo, don't you have something
Anything. You know what we need? We need something to prove the killer could see. That'll put him in his place. Proving that the shooter was sighted would do it. It would take down one of their central points. Do I have any evidence to prove that, though? Do I have anything that proves that the shooter could see? I accept the prosecution's challenge.
As I knew that you would.
What exactly am I up against here? Prosecution's saying the shooter missed because they couldn't see. Therefore, Machi, who's blind, did it.
Well, the defense will please present their evidence that overturns the prosecution's claim the shooter could not see.
I'm just gonna present the diagram because the room is a mess. I think I might be in a little bit of trouble here. Okay.
I'm not sure that overturns anything, Justice.
Apparently both love and justice are blind.
I have to think there must be something. Anything. This doesn't look so good, Apollo. No, it does not. What do we do? Well, first we don't panic. Even though Machi's case is leaking water by the gallon. Gavin's on a roll. It's up to me to stop him. Okay, I think I'm missing something that I have to get. See, we know there's a stepladder. I don't know how you would know it's there, but... Well, no, I guess you would know. I don't think I get penalized for saying no need. I just... And would it be the... I mean, whatever he was trying to write here got smeared. And the heart-shaped keys... I can't think of anything.
Well, your face does not exactly project confidence.
Apollo, grow back though. Right, but, I don't know, I'm gonna try the picture of the body. Yeah, I'm gonna try presenting the picture of the body. I can take the hit. I got some evidence. Wait, it actually is that. Okay. Okay. No, I mean, like, it makes sense. 'Cause... like, he was clearly writing something, it looks like it got smeared intentionally. And also, like, yeah. This is that evidence.
Why, the photograph of the crime scene.
I don't care much for the smirk on Prosecutor Gavin's face.
But this is no time to think twice. Time to press on. Yes, Your Honor. The crime scene. There's something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point.
Well then, perhaps you'd best show us this something. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, ja.
Very well. Show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice.
I think the contradiction's this. The contradiction's right here. The smeared bloodstains.
I thought it was just my blurry vision. It really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head. Much like a gesture I have seen many times in this court.
It's almost as if he wrote something. Aha! I got it. I get it. At least, I think I get it.
Get what, Rowland?
When Mr. Latouche was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? What would he write but in his own blood? What would he write it in but his own blood? Pretty good, Thanks for making my point for me.
Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here.
That does seem to be a distinct possibility.
The victim wrote the killer's name. Certainly a logical conclusion.
You're right. I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that.
Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind.
Well, neither would I.
Hello. No one else has anything else to say on that one?
Well, about what?
So, the prosecution accepts this. You agree that this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer. And the killer tried to rub the name out.
Well, what's your point?
What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name?
Well, Mr. Latouche was writing something in blood. Once the killer saw what?
Wait.
Once he saw what it was.
But, what did you just testify about the shooter?
I said they were blind.
Yet, the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court that the defendant, Machi Tobei, is blind. He could not have been the shooter. Impossible.
Order! Order, Prosecutor Gavin! Please explain to me what this all means. I mean, looking at this photograph, it seems quite clear the shooter could see. Yet up until now...
Well, it seems I owe the court an apology. The Gaviners are banned with law enforcement ties. Yet a murder occurred during our concert. Apparently, this has caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner.
I don't think I like the vibe I'm getting here. Hey, Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like, he knows something that we don't, and he's about to tell us.
I've got an idea. Let's rock. With these documents. But before that, I have a question for the Fraulein detective. If I may.
What? What?
Tell me, why do you think that Machi Tobei is blind?
Oh God. Don't you dare do this to me. Huh? What did he say? What are you saying? Of course he's blind.
Of course.
He's a blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't Lamiror lead him around by the hand all the time? No way! No! I mean, I guess it was fair. Wait a hint.
Well, I have a report here on the defendant, Machi Tobei. According to this, Machi Tobei can see perfectly well.
What?
His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. He can see quite well.
But you said...
Why, what did I say? Exactly. Airforehead. Not once in the course of this trial have I ever claimed that a defendant was blind. The only one who did was the Fraulein detective.
But that's...
A significant fact, yeah. Consider Machi Tobey sees. And he was the only one who could have fled through the air vent. I see no problems with this.
But what about the bullet holes in the wall?
Ah, yes. The bullet holes. I believe our forehead neatly explained those to us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the 45. It was a simple accident. In other words. How's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off from brighter skies. This is where the real fun begins, our forehead.
Yeah!
I knew you didn't have what it took.
You jerk. Just when what was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah. Apologize.
Well. Oh, sorry.
That's no way to apologize. That's no way to apologize.
Well... He's angered Trucy now. Look out.
Well, if we could please end the bickering now.
Whatever. I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solving the case if it kills me.
Your testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant.
Don't say that.
What?
This blood stain. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right?
That seems to be what happened, yes.
You might be able to find out what's really written here.
Really? You can do that?
That's right. With this. It's called luminol. Maybe you know of it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood.
Huh. Yes. Have we done those tests yet?
As if I'm gonna tell you.
The bloodstains covered a section of carpet. In order to perform blood tests, the section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should request it here in court now.
Yo!
Right. Go for it, Apollo.
Well, you're letting me do it? Well, I have to do it.
You just have to spray the luminol. Simple.
Chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard of this somewhere.
Why, yes. I believe an analysis is called for. Well, have at it.
Right. Ready. It's as easy as pie.
Welcome to the red zone. Everything is red now.
Just press space to spray the luminol. Give it a try.
The eyes of the entire court are focused on me.
Apollo, your hand's shaking.
Rah. Let's do this. Wow. Wow. Wait, it really works. Wait, that's English. What? IPYX 314206? Okay.
This must be the power of science. It says IPXX 314206. Is that the killer's name?
Maybe it is, if the killer was a robot.
Aha. I have it.
What is it?
Well, I thought those letters... IPXX looked familiar. And this is an Interpol ID number.
Interpol? You mean the International Police Agency?
Yes. Well, most are undercover agents working to solve international crime. Why would he write that number?
Why would Mr. Latouche even know a number like that?
Oh. Good show, Fraulein Detective. Rock on.
Eh?
Your Honor, we can verify the number immediately. Darian, are you there? Come up to the witness stand.
Wait, is he Interpol?
Darian, you heard what we need. Go check the Interpol ID number.
Sure thing. Give me 30 minutes. No, 27. I'm not sure what to think of all this. The prosecution's case is airtight, so it seems. But if the number is really that of an Interpol agent...
Oh, wait. I know. What if Machi Tobe is really an undercover Interpol agent?
I mean, that would be a possibility.
Well, it's certainly a possibility, yes. And one that would mark him as the killer for certain.
Why did Latouche know an Interpol ID? That's what I want to know.
Well, we have some time while we await Darian's report. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Machi Tobe.
What are you talking about?
Fräulein Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant could, in fact, see just before the trial began. Seemed too much of a bother to tell you.
You had me until the last bit.
Does this not raise a rather straightforward question?
Well, sure. Why didn't Machi pretend he could not see?
Exactly. It makes little sense. What do you think, Forehead?
Me?
Well, Machi Tobe pretended that he was blind. Do you know why?
How could he know? Wait. Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he? He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time.
Is something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game? Know that the moment I heard the report, I knew why.
I suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, there was a reason why Machi Tobe pretended to be blind. It wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now?
It was for Lamiroy.
Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant would feign blindness?
Machi had no reason to pretend he couldn't see. Which means, no. It couldn't be.
Good show, Air Forehead. Seems you've thought of something.
Why can't I figure these things out on my own? I hate having to take my cues from this guy. Very well, look at this. This is why he was pretending he couldn't see.
Why, that is Lamiroy.
Lamiroy and Machi Tobe. Recall their relationship. In particular, their unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country. Lamiroy and her pianist. They'd always walk together, she leading him by the hand. Even when they got on the stage, she'd lead him to the piano. She'd walk all the way over there with him. That's right, because he was blind. Machi led him at all times, never letting him go.
All times.
Yet, we've just learned something that makes the arrangement peculiar, indeed. Machi could see. Why did they have to keep up the act the whole time?
Well, wasn't it part of their performance?
I think there's a simpler explanation. Machi did not need to be led by the hand at all. That can only mean one thing. Really? Really? As it was all the other way around. The one who needed to be led by the hand was Lamirai.
What is this? So do you mean to say that Lamirai, she's...
Yes, Your Honor. Lamirai is blind. What? What? That's not what I was thinking. That is not what I was thinking at all. I was still on the line of logic that it was related to their marketing. Like I thought maybe Machi was even deceiving her. What?
Order in the court. This is crazy. Prosecutor Gavin.
Oh, is it now?
Please shed some light on, shed some sanity on this madness. The defense has made an outrageous claim.
Why, the only thing outrageous I see about the defense, is his vast forehead. And yet I see it is not vast in vain. This time. He's quite correct.
But that makes no sense.
Yeah. Wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter in sound? Or something?
Well, since we have her here... why not ask Lamirai herself? I believe she's still in the waiting room. The witness waiting room.
Apollo, what does this mean for our case? Don't ask me, I had no idea that she couldn't see. I hadn't even imagined it until now.
Bailiff, bring in Lamirai.
Lamirai. Pains me deeply to call you before us again in this way. And yet, I must.
Please, do not be concerned on my behalf.
Those eyes. She really can't see? Really?
It is true. How funny. How funny is it that a tiny lad, born in the Virginian countryside, would one day grow to entangle the entire world?
So you are?
Yes, as I mentioned before, I have no memory of the time before I became Lamiroy. Know too that my memories begin in darkness. The word light has no meaning for Lamiroy. For Lamiroy,
I see.
Well, you may recall me saying something toward the beginning of the trial. Forehead.
What's that?
Why? I believe I said it was unfortunate. The crime had no direct witnesses.
Ah.
Now, Lamiroy, I must ask you to stand once more. Will you testify to the court about your eyes?
of course. It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor?
Yes, yes, of course. Though I admit I'm a little lost here.
I think we're all a little bit lost here, Your Honor.
I have no memory of the light. I debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with my PR line before he knew this. So, silly as it may sound, I had to pretend that I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others.
But this is a murder trial.
I apologize. It was part of my contract. You see, I have to keep my blindness a secret, no matter what. Music is everything for me. I never imagined something like this would.
She told us the truth in the beginning. When she said that she saw nothing.
Very well. Does the defense have anything to add?
I'd like to cross-examine. But what is there left to ask? What is there left to ask, Apollo? Apollo. There's one thing in her testimony that bothered me.
Well, perhaps it's best we let you get it out of your system. Someday you'll come to understand the importance of thinking for yourself.
Very well. The defense may proceed. However, be aware that the court will not tolerate any questions deemed too stressful to the witness.
Okay. There's only one part that bothered me. Let me just ask about that and I'll be happy. Perhaps your music reminded him of the Borginian scenery. No, it was quite the opposite. The opposite. According to my producer, my music had a certain global quality.
Global.
Multicultural, if you will. Hard to pin on one region. When people listen to it, they picture the country closest to their hearts, which is why my music has reached so many. Why, what a lovely story.
Well, sounds like the producer might have known what he was doing after all.
My songs are nothing more than a white canvas. To me, the real landscape painters are the listeners. When I think of that, I do not mind how I'm represented to the world so much. One thing quickly led to another. When you say your staff, do you include Mr. Latouche? Of course. Of course. He was my manager. He knew. That's what's been bugging me.
Why, there's something the matter, Mr. Justice.
I believe I know it's bothering our young defense attorney. You're thinking of when you discovered the body, yes?
Is he right, Apollo? Yes, I was. Right, because... Why would he say to ask the witness of someone that he knows is blind? And I think where this could be going is that, like, Lamiroy and Machi together are the siren. Like, Lamiroy's music is not, like, she's by herself. She said so. Like, she relies on the piano to guide her, but maybe that was another hint to the fact that she's actually blind and Machi is not. Oh, maybe that could have been foreshadowing. When she said that she has to be guided by his piano.
She meant it literally. Sorry. Thinking. Yeah, let me put this over here and then or no, over here where it won't fall off the desk. He's alive! So-called witness. Can't see. Wait, was he... What? Wait, did he just tell us that Lamiroy's blind? The witness can't see the siren. The witness can't see. The witness is siren. Mr. Latouche told me to ask the witness and he named you. Why would he do that? He knew that you were blind.
I do not know.
Okay, what do I do?
Tisk. What did I just say? You need to learn to think for yourself.
Meaning what?
There's no mystery here if you recall everything that he said. Think of his last words once more.
The witness, siren. We've heard them many times, along with a little play acting by our defense.
I remember them well myself. That statement's not to what I refer. I mean what he said before that.
Came before.
That's right. He tried to tell you. When he said can't see, he was not talking about himself. He was talking about the witness.
I see.
Too bad the defense did not. Well, Air Forehead. Try relaxing and looking at the facts first, next time.
Rest in peace, Apollo.
Order.
Recall Lamiroy's earlier testimony.
I was on my way from the stage to backstage exit. There were 2 shots. I could not do anything to stop it.
But she could not have heard the gunshots. I thought we just proved that.
Well, funny thing about the human body, if you're missing a sense, your other senses become more acute. So, she probably did hear it.
That's not the most important point here. The moment that he was shot, Mr. Latouche witnessed her through the window. Why else would he have named her as the witness?
But I did hear them. 2 gunshots, and the man's voice.
Unfortunately, such a thing was impossible. The window was closed. We've already run a simulation, of course.
But it was so clear. If I heard the voice again, I would know it in an instant.
Your Honor!
What is it, bailiff? Can't you see we're in session here?
We have the results back from the investigation.
The investigation?
The Interpol number that Mr. Latouche left us.
Yo?
Well, let's hear it. We will continue this cross-examination after. Detective Crescent, your report, please.
Yeah. I asked Interpol about that number. I'm sure you'll find their answer intriguing. Quick work as always, Darian.
Well, tell us about the number. Is the defendant a secret agent?
IPXX 314206. The agent registered under that number was Romain Latouche. What? Our undercover Interpol agent was Mr. Latouche himself. He was apparently in the middle of an operation.
So, when he wrote those letters,
He was trying to tell us his own identity. The cautious killer tried to wipe him away.
Mr. Latouche was an undercover Interpol agent. So him being Lamiroir's manager
was just a cover, most likely.
There's one other important detail that I found. Well, out with it. Concerns 45 caliber revolver, the murder weapon. Apparently it belonged to Romain Latouche. He had an Interpol permit to carry firearms. And the registration number on the revolver matched. So, the victim was killed with his own weapon, which makes sense. It's hard to imagine someone who wasn't an Interpol agent with such a large revolver.
So, the victim was an Interpol agent on an undercover op. Wonder how that ties into everything.
It's got to tie in somehow, you'd think.
Yeah, somehow.
Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It is a great help.
Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out.
Hold it.
Hold it. Wait.
Lamiroir, is something the matter?
That voice just now.
Darian.
Mr. Darian, is it? It was him. I am sure of it.
It was him. You aren't saying. You aren't saying.
That voice I heard, talking to Mr. Lutus. When I heard the gunshots, it was him. It's Mr. Darian.
Is this some kind of joke? Is this some kind of joke?
What?
No way.
The courtroom fell into such a chaotic state the trial had to be suspended temporarily. I'd never seen that happen before. Of course, it's not every day you get an accusation like that. Lamiroy fingering Darian Crescent. Not only is he guitarist, he's a detective. Could it really have been his voice that Lamiroy heard? Things were changing fast, and frankly, I wasn't sure I could keep up.
Hey, no wimping out now, Apollo.
Like, there is no way it was Darian, right? Like, that would be insane. What? Oh god, the problem is he could have done it. Oh no. Oh, it's going back to investigation. Okay, cause like, okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing that I noticed. So like, I will say there was already a hint of suspicion in my mind on Darian, but I was just like, there's like no way, there's no way it's him, right? Cause like, he's a detective. But yeah, during the first... Okay, so... During the first part of the investigation, there's a couple things. One of the things was that, there was an earpiece that was just on the floor of the hallway, and it was super annoying because I couldn't pick it up. So that's why I remember it was there. So that's something. But when we were given the volume mixer machine, so that we could play with the audio track to find who messed up the cue, it was Darian's part, and you can like nearly hear the gunshots on his part. So it's like it's definitely weird. Oh no. Wait, but he was on stage, no? Like, he would have been on stage. Also, there was that yellow magician guy. I'm sure that guy will show up in Investigation Part 2. Cause we gotta find that guy. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can continue playing this tonight without my voice exploding. So I think I am gonna have to wrap up here. but like, that's crazy. I mean, there's still a chance that it wasn't Darian. Because, like, assuming he was legitimately on stage, his alibi is pretty tight. So, like, And maybe because of that missing headset, like if we want to give Darian the benefit of the doubt here, because of the missing headset, maybe he got like audio feedback of the gunshots when they went off, so then it messed up his playing. Cause like he kind of heard them or something. So like, but I mean, if she heard him talking, I don't know. There's a lot that has to be figured out there. But yeah, that'll have to be for another time, I think, cause that was a pretty long section in the game. Although I know I took a decent amount of breaks, but yeah. Thanks everybody for sticking on and watching. I hope you enjoyed this the stream, and I will be playing this game more again sometime in the relatively near future. I'm professional, so nothing is set in stone schedule wise. So yeah, if you don't want to miss it and you're new here, feel free to leave a follow. And yep, I think I'm supposed to chill, right? But yeah. Anyways, I hope everyone has a very good rest of your day and or evening, and I will see you again soon, TM. Bye bye for now.